Hello, sunshine. Welcome to Be Visible with Veronica, the podcast where bold conversations and soul-aligned strategy help you awaken your most powerful self. I'm your host, Veronica Bond. Get ready to stop dimming your light, own your magic, and finally be so visible you can't be ignored. Let's get visible. Welcome back to Be Visible with Veronica, the podcast for bold entrepreneurs share their story over trials and triumphs. I'm Veronica Bond, your host, and if you haven't had a chance to listen to Stephanie Brown, our nonprofit who was featured last week with House of Cheer, please go back and take a listen after this episode. But I want to thank first our sponsor, Green Living Magazine. This production is due in part because of them and their sustainability efforts and empowering women entrepreneurs. A heartfelt thank you to our premier sponsor, Green Living Magazine, Arizona's leading conscious lifestyle publication. Each issue is packed with new ideas on how to use nature's resources for sustainable living tips, inspiring stories, and statewide eco events. Subscribe today and get 12 print issues and digital access at greenlivingmag.com/store. Hello, sunshine. I'm Veronica Bond, and today's episode is somebody who truly empowers grace, beauty, resilience, and fortitude. A multi-seven-figure earner who has found herself starting over on a new entrepreneurial journey. My guest on our show today is Amber Golden. Welcome, Amber.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here today.
You know, we met only a couple weeks ago, and it was this instantaneous magnetic attraction. And I think when you are in the process of growing and scaling your business and rising up, you find yourself meeting other women entrepreneurs that are doing the same, or women in general, in their personal or their business life. And one of the conversations you and I had was your entrepreneurial journey started 20 plus years ago out of need to educate your daughter because you found yourself in a situation that was similar to how you were growing up and you wanted to make a change. And isn't that how entrepreneur journeys usually start? Because there is a need and a change. But the difference is you took action.
Yeah.
I would love you to share about that story and that journey.
Well, and yes, I realized I'm an entrepreneur from about 4 generations back, so it's in my blood. So even before the schools that you're talking about, there's other, when I piece it together and I look, there's a through line there that I have always been an entrepreneur and always been a leader, not really realizing it. And so with my daughter, I did not do well in school. That's a longer story, but I struggled in school myself. So when my daughter got to kindergarten, where she had been in a Montessori-like school where her creativity was really fostered. When she moved to the traditional public school, I had whiplash because it was so different. And I realized what I realized about myself was also true for her, that she wasn't necessarily not a good student. She just didn't fit into that box because really she's an entrepreneur like me. And entrepreneurs think differently.
Don't they, though?
Yeah, exactly.
I think like you, I can remember back being 3 years old, having this all-knowing conscious of things that should be happening in a way that wasn't the way I was supposed to be taught. And I went to school at 4 because you could then. And I didn't fit in either.
Yeah. It's interesting because there's was an innate thing to, I joke often when I talk about that I started a school for my daughter, which then blossomed into a whole system of charter schools.
Across the country.
Yeah, it did. But which wasn't my intent. I was really just looking to fill a need. And what I thought, I jokingly say, well, isn't that what everybody does? If you can't find what you want, you just create your own. And the truth is not everybody, us entrepreneurs, can't help ourselves. And that's where I was at. I thought she needs something different. Instead of changing her to fit the system, I'm going to change the system to fit her. So that's what I've done. That's a theme in my life. That's clearly what I've done, which is why even when I work with companies now, it's deeply ingrained in me and very important to me that the systems fit the people that use them instead of forcing people into systems.
I love that. These are all such individual conversations we could continue to have for hours, I believe.
Yes, absolutely.
So speaking of Throughline, what are you the most excited about right now, Amber, either personally or professionally, in the shift you're making into this whole queen dialogue that we were talking about earlier?
Well, I love to talk about that. And so what's interesting is I've always been coached, and it's always instinctually been something that I look at what stage of life am I in, and if I need that, other people must as well. So that's what I did with the schools, and I found all my people, all the other mamas that were looking for that kind of system. We found each other, and they're still dear friends with me today. So now in this stage of life, I've had a lot of life changes. I went through 4 of the 5 Ds all at the same time during COVID, and the 5 Ds are death, divorce, disease, disaster, or default. And
wait a minute, you went through 4 of the 5?
Yes. It was
in a short period of time.
During COVID. It was a very tough time, very, very tough time. And I knew when I was going through it that it was for a reason. I knew that I was learning lessons that I was intended to help other people with.
So you see yourself differently now than you did then. You've gone through this personal transformation in business and in your personal life.
Sure.
And you've really built this beautiful new focus and goal that's extremely prophetic from where you were to where you are now. And one of the questions I had asked you pre-going live was, you are a multi-7-figure earner, right? And you had said, oh no, I'm just starting my other business right now. And I said, no. In your lifetime of being an entrepreneur, your first journey led you into a multi-7. And you said, you know what? I forgot about that. I forgot, not too much, not in
you're right.
You didn't forget about it, but what you said was,
I discounted it.
Because
yes, I built a 7-figure company.
Yes,
a nonprofit, and it did gangbusters in the country. It was a nationwide, very entrepreneurial, very groundbreaking system of charter schools. And yes, that's exactly why I started what I call the Queen Chapter Community, because that's what happened to me over the past few years when I've been going through those difficult times, is I discounted all the things that I've done in my life. And I realized, I felt less than. I've always been a resilient person. I did not feel resilient in this season. After all that I've accomplished in my life, I really lost my confidence. And I realized that after I came through some of it, and most of it now, and my mom just passed away in January. That's one of the difficulties. But after I came, thank you. But after I came through, I got to the other side of it, most of it. I realized I wanted to create a community to support other women to remember their brilliance and to really go into their what I call the Queen Chapter, with that regalness, and to really remember the wisdom and the experience that they have. So I often say you're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience, because at this age, we have so much wisdom and experience and confidence. I mean, sometimes our confidence is shaken.
And like we talked about at the beginning.
And that's where we help each other.
Mm-hmm.
But we can get that back.
Well, and you talk about realignment. And if you can visualize the crown that is supposed to stand properly on the queen's head, and yet sometimes some of us need friends around us who are picking it up off the ground and resetting it for us. Or we need to look in our own reflection and find a way to do it ourselves. And I believe that is something that you're doing now.
Yeah, I mean, was really the inspiration for the Queen Chapter, is that meme that goes around saying, be the kind of woman that straightens other women's crowns. And that's what I want to do. In fact, it says it on my website, Straightening Crowns Worldwide, because this is really about saying you are a queen. There's different stages. I label it as the princess phase, the maiden phase, the princess princess phase, the duchess phase, and the queen phase. And the queen phase is when your kids are grown and when you're going through these life pivots, you're going through menopause, all those different things that bring you into this stage of life, that you have that regalness. And I really want to, in addition to confidence, I want financial independence for women, because that's really your health, and your health is your wealth. And then you really can't do a lot. There's a lot you need to have a financial foundation to do as well. And I mean, going through my divorce and some of the financial issues that happened, that became very, very real to me. So it all has to go together. And that's why I want this community to serve all of the different facets of what queens are experiencing. We're experiencing physical changes, we're experiencing financial changes, we're experiencing relational changes. So, and you are who you are wherever you go. So all of the different pieces that you're working on are a through line through all of that. So a big part of what I do is work with women, because I have so much experience in business, to either scale their companies or create their companies or their projects so that they can leave their legacy. Because really that's what matters. You know, we're closer to the end now, and we're saying, how are people going to think about me when I'm gone?
What's that legacy look like for you?
Exactly.
I love that. It's one of the reasons why I started this podcast, was to create a platform for women to have voices globally, to share their thoughts, to share their trials and their triumphs. So I want to talk about what it was like for you to come through those 4Ds, 4 of the 5, and be in that cocoon of life, trusting when it was time to come out, because we know if a caterpillar comes out too early, they die. And if they're forced to come out too early, they die. So the timing is not always the way we might look at it, but the way it was actually intended. Talk about that transformation and what that was like for you to have this moment where you knew it was time to spread those queen wings.
Yeah, well, and you say it so well. It was hard for me. It was a long time. It took 4 to 5 years for me to be in that cocoon. And I'm not necessarily known for my patience. So it was yeah, exactly. So I when is this going to end? Because it was another D and another D and another D kept happening over a period of a few years. And so I thought, oh my gosh. And looking back, actually, quite often, each one of those takes a good year to get over. And having 4 of them happen at once, no wonder it took me 4 years, because it was paced. And then there was a recovery period, sometimes multiple tracks at the same time. So I needed to be patient. And then when I did start to come out of it last year, I really, you know what did it the most was
I'm like taking a deep breath for you right now.
Yeah.
Like, what happened last year?
It was physical. It was getting my Tushy to the gym and going regularly and getting physically healthy, because that's the key to everything else. Was exercising my body so that my brain got good oxygen, and having the discipline and the consistency and the friendship of the people that are in my tennis class there to continue to show up for myself, and to realize in that metamorphosis that that's really what was changing. Was now it's just me. I came out the other side single, empty nester, new state. I moved out I had lived in California for 57 years. New state, new career, new, so many things were different. I always say on my phone, you know, the favorites that you have.
Yes.
All but 2 of them changed. You know, there's 9. Wow. All but 2 of the people I talk to every day changed. And so many different things, such a different reality. And, but it's also, the beauty of that is it's a fresh start. It's an invitation to invent the rest of my life. So,
were you reading something, or was there a catalyst moment for you? A quote you read, a journal reading you did, sitting in gratitude or meditation? What allowed you to say it's time to go on another journey, and this is what it looks like for me, and this is where I like following those breadcrumbs. How did it show up for you? Because if the listeners and viewers here are in your same situation, and maybe they're in their third year of a 5-year cocoon stage, what would be a piece of advice you would give them if they're listening?
Well, one of my favorite quotes that was on my Facebook page for a really long time was Louisa May Alcott saying that I'm not afraid of the storm because I'm learning how to sail my ship. And I thought about that the whole 5 years, and also the serenity prayer is always amazing.
Right.
And those two, I would say those two quotes were probably the most impactful to me. In fact, the moment I found out I was getting divorced, which was a surprise to me, and I didn't want it at the time, I ordered that plaque, the Serenity Prayer plaque, and I looked at it every morning and read it because I can't control what's happening. And my journey and my task is to learn to know the difference of what I can control and what I can't. Control what I can and let go of what I can't. And it's, how you react to life is really where the magic is, to the circumstances of life. And that's one day at a time.
One of the things that I learned how to do was write down literally on a piece of paper, not on my phone, not in notes, not on a typewriter, what I can control, what are the controllables I can control, and what are those that I cannot. And I practiced on breathing into what I knew I could control. And then I turned to some really fun books like Jen Sincero, You Are a Badass Every Day, because I needed to find that masculine energy in me again to move me through, not that feminine energy isn't badass, but
we all have both.
Definitely we have both. But in my world, in what I had constructed in my brain, is masculine energy means you're a bull in a china shop, you have a machete, and you're not following a map, you're just cutting a path through the forest. And the feminine energy is follow the map, you'll still get there, but you'll get there with less destruction, you'll get there a little more flow and ease, it won't be as hard of a climb, and so I had to learn how to balance both of those in me and really lean into when it was that feminine calling. And now I love that I can breathe, and you guys have heard me now breathe 3 or 4 times today with you, because I just feel like it's a process. And what I love about the episode before you with Stephanie Brown of House of Cheer is she's supporting young girls to find their confidence. She's showing them how to pick their crown, or maybe right now they're in a sailboat and she's showing them what a yacht looks like, or what that beautiful, powered with captain of the sea boat looks like for them. And you're in that stage now where you remind women what it was like to dream as a young girl. What did that feel like? Where was their passion? What was that spark? And how you can put oxygen on that flame for them. And I love that for you, because one of the most impactful things the Be Visible with Veronica podcast can do is lead, and I know it is because we are currently in 7 countries. We've had over 300 downloads, if not more, because this episode will air, I think it's number 13. And what I love about what this platform is doing is letting other women hear what it's been like to go through a journey that is not always easy, but you keep coming out on top. So your legacy right now, what's the cherry on top for you?
To empower other people to leave their legacy. And I'll tell you, one of my clients said this to me just the other day. She was talking to me about, she's been reading about what the Queen Chapter is and what I'm talking about and supporting people. And she said, she told me the story of the things she's been through, and her kids are grown, still not flying as high as she hopes they will someday. And she said to me, I've been taking care of everybody else, and now it's time for me. It's my turn for my Queen Chapter. Boy, that got me, and that's the legacy I want.
And you really know how to lead women through magical transitions, Amber. And I think that's, in fact, I know that's why you and I connected so quickly. It was like the girlfriend that has been in your back pocket forever, and you knew she was there, and we had a conversation, and it was like we didn't even skip a beat.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We just must have had a lifetime together of some kind.
Empowering people. You know, I say that I used to have a system and teach kids how to be entrepreneurs, and now I'm teaching women my age and 50 and older how to be entrepreneurs.
And probably helping the entrepreneurial woman who, like you, has grown a powerful, impactful business that has scaled, that is not just affecting her own legacy and economy, but she's affecting others. And maybe now she's feeling a little lost or burnt out, or the rug's just gotten pulled out from underneath her, and she needs to decide, is she moving forward? What's her next move? So that's a conversation with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can be very accomplished and already built a lot, or be brand new. I've done both, so I know how the steps and stages of both. But the truth is, women and people at older ages, you've heard that entrepreneurs, that new businesses, 50% of them fail. Well, when you're 50 and older, that percentage of failure goes way down, and the success rate goes way up.
Really?
Because we have resources, we have connections, we have wisdom. So the rate of entrepreneurs at an older age that start a new business to succeed is more like 80%.
And don't you think that also comes from the power of your network and the relationships you've built? So I think one of the things we can share today is the 30-year-old, the 20-year-old that is listening to this, the tweener or the teener that says, because we've seen many young 14, 15, 18-year-olds start incredible businesses that scale quickly and become 7, 8-figure launches in product. But I think in general, the most impactful conversation we can have, and you said it earlier, was about community. And that is how you and I met. We met through a community event. We were celebrating a mutual friend's 63rd birthday. And she had gathered women from all ages in this brunch circle. And then she had us all introduce ourselves. And she was the matchmaker of people saying, you need to know this person and you need to know that person. And I think so many people, women especially, think they have to do it alone.
You're right on about that. And so here's the thing, just like our friend Angel did, women build community. That's what we naturally do. We're naturally we are naturally lean towards doing that. So, and there's this thing called the grandmother hypothesis, actually, and it's that it talks about that after menopause, we live longer on purpose than men because we have a purpose, and that purpose is to take care of the community, to take care of people beyond our own children. And that is what our friend Angel did. That's what we naturally do, which is connect and build community. That's our job at this stage, and that's why I support women and business owners in leaving a legacy, not just checking the box.
Right.
Make it meaningful. Make it be the message, the mark you want to leave on the world, so you're leaving the world better than you found it, right? We naturally do that, and we do it, like you said, through community. What a beautiful thing. At her birthday party, she created all of these meaningful relationships. It wasn't just a party
to celebrate her.
Yes.
She was celebrating her friends.
It was amazing.
It was beautiful. And I love that, the grandmother effect, because I'm a new grandma.
Congratulations.
Thank you. She's 19 months, and I just got back from spending some time with her. And I can literally watch Charlie V TV. All I do is sit and play with her on the floor, read books to her, and watch her constantly. And watch her evolve and the way she thinks and the beauty of this young, she's just soaking every single thing in. And I look at the wisdom I have that I want to bestow upon her, or the legacy I want to leave behind for her. And it is the power of saying yes, because you had also mentioned, and a couple other women said the same thing, I almost didn't come. I was tired. This had happened last week.
Yes.
But the power of showing up.
Yes. Absolutely.
Show up. You never know who you are going to meet. And if you're online all the time, I'm sorry, but you are not showing up. You're not knee to knee. You're not eye to eye.
Yes.
You're not having a conversation. You're not feeling that personal magnetism that you and I had, that attraction that brought us together.
Absolutely.
That's how you collaborate. That's how you raise community. That's how you level up together and you soar.
Yes.
Wow.
There's an energy in person that doesn't happen in Zoom. You can have some of the energy on Zoom and it's a nice backup.
Or on social media.
Or that too,
I mean,
absolutely.
it's beautiful, but if all you're doing is worrying about the next post you're going to put out there to grow the next follower, to build a community, that's...
As a supplement, it's good, but you really do need some in person. I try to get out of the house 3 to 5 times a week at an event.
Powerful statement.
Because the energy.
Or just go to your neighborhood coffee shop, smile at somebody and say hi.
Absolutely.
And work outside your home for a moment.
Absolutely. I do that too. I work at my gym sometimes because there's tables
Go to a park.
there. Yeah.
Go to a restaurant. There's so many co-working spaces now where you can go sit and have a conversation.
And that's where I play tennis regularly, getting there in the morning. You know, I have friends there, so I get that. I start the day with that boost.
Oh, we're going to have to go get on the court together then.
I can't wait.
I'm coming off of a 2-year Achilles and 5-year, 2019, Achilles and ACL tear. But I'm playing pickleball and I now work out. My sister's my fitness coach, and it's amazing. But it does change the energy I have through the day. I'm really glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
How do people connect with you? You have a really powerful freebie I want to talk about because this is going to be amazing. You guys, listen up. Here we go.
Well, you can go to my website, queenchapter.com, and my freebie is going to be a download of my book, Unstoppable After 50. There's exercises in it. It talks about women after 50 that have succeeded, and you will look in the show notes. You're going to text Unstoppable to the phone number in the show notes.
So text Unstoppable will get you that phone number in the show notes. So make sure that you guys are taking a look at the show notes after this episode. Scroll down and we'll have the phone number. Text Unstoppable to Amber Golden. Pick up her book, connect with her on her website, look at her Queen community. Tell us the name of that again.
It's queenchapter.com is the website. You can also find me on social media under Amber Golden. I'm on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn.
Well, you have shared some powerful messaging today, and I hope that you stay tuned for next week. We have a surprise guest. I'm not going to share. Here's a little tease of who it's going to be, but all of our guests in studio here receive a gift from me, so I just wanted to give that to you.
Oh, thank you. Can I open it now?
Yes, it's our Hello Sunshine box.
I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, how beautiful is that? Oh, I love it.
Love
it. Oh my gosh, it's got is this a candle?
There's all kinds of yummy goodies.
Should I show the camera?
Sure.
This is so exciting. So much fun stuff. A sleep mask and a stress ball. Oh, this is awesome.
So
I can't wait to have coffee in my mug.
Yes, coffee. Always remember being on this show and remember who you are and how you show up every single day. And you go keep shining your light.
Thank you.
Amber, you're doing an incredible job for so many women entrepreneurs. And I want to invite our guests that if you loved what you heard today, please subscribe and follow. We're on Spotify, Apple, everywhere you stream, and on YouTube. Help the show get seen by many. And I just want to thank our beautiful community that has been supporting us week after week and sharing these messages, and our Be Visible with Veronica podcast. Bye for now. Thanks for tuning in to Be Visible with Veronica. If today's episode sparked something in you, share it, tag me, and pass it on. Your presence has power, and the world is better when you let it be seen. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and keep showing up as the unstoppable force you were born to be. I'll see you next time.